President Bola Tinubu is set to meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping today in Beijing, China. This significant diplomatic engagement comes after President Tinubu arrived in Beijing on Thursday, marking the beginning of a crucial diplomatic mission. During his visit, President Tinubu is scheduled to tour major Chinese companies, including Y Technologies and the China Railway and Construction Corporation. This move is seen as a strategic effort to strengthen the bilateral ties and explore potential collaborations between Nigeria and China. The meeting between the two leaders is highly anticipated, with expectations of discussing key areas of cooperation, including trade, infrastructure development, and economic growth. Also in the news this afternoon, the federal government has denied a report claiming that the Ministry of Petroleum Resources ordered the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) to increase fuel prices by 1,000 naira above the approved pump price. The report alleged that Minister Henikan Lokobiri gave the directive, but the federal government dismissed it as a falsehood and ill-conceived to sow discord and confusion in the oil industry. The Ministry of Petroleum Resources stated that it has never interfered with petroleum pricing or given directives for price increments, and that NNPCL operates independently under the Companies and Allied Matters Act, while challenging anyone with evidence supporting the claims to make it public. And on the African news this afternoon, coming from Congo. From the Democratic Republic of the Congo, at least 129 people died during an attempted escape from Makala prison in Kinshasa, following a fire that broke out on Monday. The overcrowded facility, originally built for 1,500 inmates, currently holds up to 15,000. Among the dead, 24 were shot by security forces, while others suffocated. Makala prison has a history of overcrowding and jailbreaks, with a major escape in 2017 when over 4,000 prisoners fled. Authorities have been trying to reduce the prison population, releasing some inmates in recent months. And moving on to the foreign scene, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, the Democratic vice presidential candidate, was unarmed after his motorcade was involved in a multi-crash car in Milwaukee on Monday. The accident occurred around 1 p.m. local time on Interstate 794, impacting vehicles carrying members of the press rather than Walz himself. The crash caused a chain reaction with at least one person sustaining injuries, including a possible broken arm. Meanwhile, the cause of the crash remains unclear. But Governor Walz proceeded to his scheduled Labor Day event in Milwaukee, expressing relief that all involved were expected to recover, and thanked the Secret Service and local first responders for their quick response. And also on the international scene this afternoon, Russian President Vladimir Putin arrived in Mongolia on Tuesday, his first visit to an international criminal court, ICC member state, since the court issued an arrest warrant for him last year. The warrant charges Putin with the illegal deportation of Ukrainian children. He is welcomed in Ulaanbaatar by Mongolia's president, Ukhanigin Kuleshkov, in a ceremonial event featuring soldiers on horseback and martial anthems. A small protest occurred in Ulaanbaatar on Monday, demanding Putin's arrest, with another protest planned for Tuesday. Despite international calls, including from Ukraine, For Mongolia to honor the ICC warrant, the Mongolian government has not publicly responded. Mongolia has maintained friendly relations with Russia and relies on it for gas and electricity. Still on the international scene this afternoon, coming from Venezuela, a Venezuelan judge has issued an arrest warrant for opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez, who ran against President Nicolas Maduro in the recent presidential election at the request of the Public Prosecutor's Office. The warrant was issued on charges of serious crimes including document falsification, instigation of disobedience, and system sabotage after Gonzalez's opposition alliance published voting data showing he won the election by a significant margin. The move represents a significant escalation of political tensions in Venezuela, where the government has detained over 2,400 people since the election and created a climate of fear, according to the United Nations. If you are just joining us, you are listening to the World News on Honor 103.5 FM. Remember to follow and like all our social media pages at Honor 103.5 FM. You can listen live on the Radio Garden app at Honor FM Ibadan. And now we move to the business report. Dangote Refinery has commenced the rollout of its first premium motor spirit petrol from its 650,000 barrels per day Lagos-based refinery. The president of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, disclosed this during a press conference with journalists on Tuesday. He stated that the company's petrol will substitute import dependence, bringing down inflation and stabilize the naira against the dollar. According to him, the petrol will hit the Nigerian market as soon as discussions are finalized with the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. And now we move on to the entertainment news. Nigerian actress Iyabo Ojo has confirmed her daughter Priscilla's engagement to her Tanzanian lover Juma Jukes by sharing a video of their pre-wedding photoshoot on Instagram. Iyabo Ojo expressed her excitement about becoming the mother of the bride and was met with widespread joy and support from her followers, fans, and fellow celebrities who congratulated the happy couple. The confirmation came after some confusion on social media when Priscilla posted pictures from a traditional photoshoot with Juma Jukes without announcing her engagement, leading to some assumption that it was just a photoshoot or a wedding announcement. And finally, on the sport news for this afternoon, Nigeria under caretaker coach Augustine Ugoven will seek revenge against Benin as the 2025 African Cup of Nations AFCON qualifying begins on Wednesday. Ugoven stepped in after German coach Bruno Labbadia declined the role due to a tax dispute with the Nigerian Football Federation. The match pits Ugoven against former Nigerian coach Gernot Rohr, who led Benin to a 2-1 victory over Nigeria in the World Cup qualifier just 3 months ago. Benin's win was a major upset with Jodel Dosso and Steve Mooney scoring to overturn Nigeria's lead, much to the delight of Rohr, who was sacked as Nigeria's coach in 2021. This loss also led to the departure of Finidi George, who was replaced by, after just 4 games, as the Super Eagles coach. Nigeria runners-up in the 2024 AFCON are hoping to leverage their attacking talent, including stars like Victor Osimhen, Victor Boniface, and Ademola Lookman in their Group D match in Uyo. was the world news on Honor 103.5 FM. Before we go, here is a recap of the major highlights. In the news this afternoon, we informed you that President Tinubu has met with Chinese counterpart in Beijing. And on the foreign news, U.S. vice presidential candidate Tim Walz has been unarmed after the motorcade collision. While on the business report, Dangote Refinery has begun its first petrol rollout. And on the entertainment news, Iyabo Ojo has confirmed her daughter Priscilla's engagement to Tanzanian lover. And finally, on the sport news, Nigeria seeks revenge against Benin as AFCON qualifying kicks off. For eyewitness reports, news mentions, or news commercials, contact the Honor FM newsroom on 0817-675-5555 or 0913-600-1035. You can also visit our website at www.honorfm1035.net for more information. The news was compiled by Badmosi Ayokunumi and edited by Toluanimi Ademido. I am Temitope Dada. Thank you for listening.